once again to find other ways to irritate some of you. That's what I do. Anyway, so last night, Donald Trump gives his speech accepting the nomination, and people just go gaga. I'm always amazed by this idolatry, this idol worship, especially from people on the right who claim to be such devout Christians. I thought idolatry was frowned upon, but maybe I missed something. But this willingness, this overzealousness to believe someone whom can so easily be proven to be a deceitful liar, um, it just amazes me. It just fascinates me, especially from people that I know personally who have been, quote unquote, in the liberty movement in the past. I don't pretend to understand how they get where they are. Now, before any of you out there, maybe some of you seen this for the first time, immediately jump to the conclusion that, well, he doesn't like Trump, so he must be for Hillary. No, no. That you're part of the problem. That's why we have the mess we have now, because idiots like you think that way. I don't like Hillary either. She's a lying piece of shit, too. Okay? Is that clear enough for you? I'm not voting for her either. So just get over yourself. Anyway, Trump made his speech. I printed it off, the transcript here, and I was just going through it, highlighting a few things, and just wanted to point them out and ask a few questions and see if you had any answers for me. Okay, so on page 2 of the printout here, among the things he says is the most basic duty of government is to defend the lives of its own citizens. Any government that fails to do so is a government unworthy to lead. Okay? Now, this is all part of his I am the law and order candidate spiel. So, he's just trying to throw some red meat to that base. Okay, and in connection with this statement, let's go to recent postings and news articles and lamentations by many of you about how the police are supposed to protect us. Why, we have to respect and support the police because the police are there to protect us. Go back to 2005, Supreme Court decision that says that, in fact, the police have no obligation to protect you as an individual citizen. Think I'm making it up? Look it up. 2005 Supreme Court decision, United States of America Supreme Court. The police have no obligation to protect you. Their only obligation is to enforce the law. What law is that? The law that is passed by those lying, cheating, conniving pieces of shit in Congress or in your state capital. The ones you don't trust, the ones you don't like, the ones you think should all be voted out, and some of them should even be hanged for treason, for violating their oath of office. Those laws, yeah. That's the only obligation the police have, is to enforce the laws. Now, again, you can sit there and think of all sorts of nasty names to call me if you want to. Look it up. I'm not making this up. It's there, okay? So, moving on to the speech. Okay, we get to page 4 of the speech. But Hillary Clinton's legacy does not have to be America's legacy. We're talking about foreign policy now. Right? The problem we face now, poverty and violence at home, and I highlighted this part, war and destruction abroad, will last only as long as we continue relying on the same politicians who created them. That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Because I vote for that guy. I don't see anything in here, anywhere in this speech, and I haven't heard him say anything throughout the campaign about bringing our troops home, about discontinuing our meddling in the Middle East and in other countries, about putting some kind of reins on the CIA and their continued efforts to destabilize governments around the world so that we can install puppet rulers that work for us. I don't hear any of that. No, just some more red meat for the base. Get you guys all fired up and cheering and jumping up and down and hooting and hollering, and nothing's going to change. Come on, guys. Get a grip, would you? Get a clue. You want to fix our foreign policy problems? Number one, rein in the CIA. Okay? The shit that's going on in the Middle East goes back to at least the 1950s with us and our destabilizing of the Iranian government and the installation of the Shah as a puppet dictator. You think those people forget that stuff? We're talking about people who want to kill another family because of an offense that happened 2,000 years ago. You think they're going to forget what we did to them 60 or 70 years ago? And yeah, we did it. We look it up, guys. I mean, come on. The facts are out there. You just have to want to know the truth. I can't help you if you don't want to know the truth. All right? Are we going to bring our troops home? We've been in Afghanistan for how many years now? Now, I thought we were in Afghanistan to look for and get Osama bin Laden. Well, didn't we get Osama bin Laden? So why are we still there? I mean, you got to give some thought to this stuff. Get past the uber patriotic, flag waving, support the boys in uniform stuff, and think about what we're doing. Moving on. Page 5. A number of these reforms that I will outline tonight will be opposed by some of our nation's most powerful special interests. That is because these interests have rigged our political and economic system for their exclusive benefit. Isn't Trump one of those people who've rigged the system? Oh, I know, you don't want to hear that. No, he's our candidate. We can't talk about him like that. We're going to ignore the past. We're going to ignore the facts because he's our guy. But isn't he one of those crony capitalists who for years has been giving money to various politicians at various levels throughout the country, expecting a little something in return? And you believe this guy? He didn't become the mogul he is without greasing a few palms, people. He is part of the problem. But that's okay. He's changed. He's had a change of heart. He's a good guy now. He's one of us. So he'll take care of that. Oh, let's see. Moving on. I have embraced crying mothers who have lost their children because our politicians put their personal agendas before the national good. Okay, what does that mean exactly? Who's he referring to? What children have been lost because of what policies? Is he referring to our foreign policy? Is he referring to our troops who continue to be killed overseas for no damn good reason? Just being used as pawns in some global game? Is that what he's talking about? You tell me. Page 6. I have joined the political arena so that the powerful can no longer beat up on people that cannot defend themselves. God, don't you just love that? Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it. I have seen firsthand how the system is rigged against our citizens, just like it was rigged against Bernie Sanders. Okay, sounds good. But again, hasn't he been part of that system? Isn't he the one who's given millions of dollars to various politicians to grease the palms and get things done the way he wanted them done, to have votes go his way? So now we're supposed to believe that he's had a change of heart and he's going to fix all this? I mean, it's like like a fireman who goes out and sets a house on fire, runs back to the station and waits for the alarm to go off, and then goes out and helps put the fire out, and wants you to pat him on the back for putting out the fire that he started. All right, continuing on. Oh, here we go. We're going to build a great border wall to stop illegal immigration, to stop the gangs and the violence, to stop the drugs from pouring into our communities. Now, let me stop real quick and just say I'm against illegal immigration, okay? I don't like illegal immigration. I think something does need to be done about illegal immigration. Keyword, illegal, okay? Got it? Illegal immigration. I am not against immigration. People who do the paperwork, follow the rules, and come here the right way. They follow the laws. We are a nation of laws. We're supposed to be. So I'm all for that. I have been honored to receive the endorsement of America's Border Patrol agents and will work directly with them to protect the integrity of our lawful immigration system. Okay, two things come to mind there. Stop the drugs from pouring into our communities. So, Mr. Trump, are you saying that you're going to finally rein in the CIA? Oh, I know. Not all of the drugs that find their way into our communities are brought in by the CIA, but a huge damn chunk of it is. And if you don't think it is, then you need to open your eyes and do some research. Okay? Next thing. All right, so we build this wall. What are we going to do about the ones that are here and continuing to receive benefits that they haven't paid into? Free education, free healthcare, free this, free that. Getting a driver's license when you don't even have a background check done. They don't even know who you are, where you're from. Are we going to change any of that? See, my contention all along has been we don't need to build a wall. We simply need to stop with the benefits. Stop giving people free stuff. And they'll go away on their own. Yeah, I know some people come here to work. Yeah, I get it. I've seen those people. I know who they are. But some people, quite a few people, come here for the free stuff. Don't want to talk about that. Oh, that's mean. That's heartless. How can you say that? Deal with reality, people. Come on. Moving on. I am going to bring our jobs back to Ohio and to America. And I am not going to let companies move to other countries, firing their employees along the way without consequences. Does that sound like freedom to you? Does that sound like a free market to you, Mr. and Mrs. Limited Government Constitutional Republican? Is that the way the government's supposed to work? If I want to start a business and the taxes and the regulations in this country are so onerous that I decide to move to another country, are you telling me I don't have the right to do that? Or that if I do that, I'm to be punished for it? Maybe I just don't understand free markets as well as you seem to. Okay. Oh, let me go back a little bit here. All right, we're still talking about the economy. This includes stopping China's outrageous theft of intellectual property, along with their illegal product dumping and their devastating currency manipulation. Okay, so if currency manipulation is a problem that has to be fixed, has anybody heard Donald Trump talking about ending the Fed, auditing the Fed? For those who don't know, the Fed is the Federal Reserve. Anything? Have you heard anything? I haven't. But he seems to be worried about currency manipulation, so he's going to go after those Chinese. But how about the Federal Reserve, Don? Have you looked at that lately? Or does that work to your advantage? Okay, let's see. I'm almost done. No, well, there you go. I've highlighted things I want to discuss right off the top. What I would ask you, all you Republicans, all you liberty movement people, hey, Have you heard Donald Trump at any point, anywhere, anytime? And please, if you have, post it for me. I'd love to see the link. Talk about limiting, reducing the size of government, making it smaller. I know. Do you trust him? Do you think he's going to do it? And if you do trust him, why do you trust him? What has he done? Not what has he said. You remember a guy named Eric Cantor? You remember him? He used to say a lot of great stuff. In fact, when I first ran against him, everybody told me I was crazy because, well, I just listened to his speech last week, and in his speech he said, yeah, but did you look at his voting record? Now, granted, Donald doesn't have a voting record, but he does have a track record. Have you looked at it? Have you listened to what he said in the recent past as opposed to during this campaign? Why do you all of a sudden believe this guy when you don't believe any other politicians? You don't believe anybody else running for office, but you believe him. You think he's going to reduce the size of government. And if you're not concerned about reducing the size of government, when did that change with you? I thought that's what you were all about. So anyway, just more stuff to think about and something else to irritate you, because that's what I do. You guys have a great weekend.